All right, let's take a close-up of that pinch pot. Looks something like this. And as you continue to work it, all you're doing as you spin it in your hand and give it little pinches is trying to pinch out the areas that are thicker than other areas. So I continue, and I can force it down into my hand. Okay. My clay is getting a little dry. You're going to see some surface cracking. You guys know what cracks look like. Cracks say my clay is too dry. So I just dipped my hand in water. Did I dip it in a gallon of water? No. Just enough water to smooth the surface out a little bit. That water is going to start to soak into the clay because the clay is like a sponge. Okay, here we go. And I'm continuing. I can go down to the bottom, leave the bottom a little bit thicker than the rest. The bottom has a tendency to get too thin, and people have a tendency to break through the bottom. Okay. All right, we're going to continue going. Now, I accidentally pinched my edge, and when I did, it got a little thin. So I'm just going to gently push it back into a thickness. Okay, there we go. Don't pinch the edge. I made the mistake there for a minute. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue pinching this guy. Pinch and roll, pinch and roll, pinch and roll. Good. And take your time and pinch. This could take a few minutes. You're going to make 4 today. You have plenty of time to make 4. And you're going to take a picture today of your 4 pots before you destroy them. Okay. And you're going to turn that picture in so I can see your progression. I want to see how much you grew by practicing. All right, here we go. And you continue to smooth it out with your hands. All right, I can go on the bottom. Smooth, smooth, smooth. All right, I can tap it gently, okay, to continue to smooth it out. And I can look here where it's too thick. I know it's too thick. And that's where it's too thick. I'm just going to go ahead and try to even it out. Okay. You are going to use a lot of light pressure. This is not a project for people who like to push hard on things. Okay, so you're going to use very light pressure all the time. And this is really a good meditative project. It's very relaxing. If you just don't stress out about it, just relax and sit down and feel calm about it. Okay, so that's looking okay. All right, now I can tap it gently to give me a nice edge. All right, come around, smooth the bottom out a bit. All right, okay. I can always use a tiny bit of water to smooth it. All right, now on the bottom, we'll turn it upside down and smooth it gently. Just a tad of water, just a little bit, not a gallon, just enough to make my hands move nice and even over the surface. Just that little bit of water makes it easy for my fingers to glide on the surface. Good. I can use the back of my fingernail to smooth things out. I can also use a little stick to smooth things out if I want to. And then a dab of water. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Okay. All right. I like my fingers the best. You're going to keep going until this looks pretty smooth. Now you're going to make what's called a coil. Okay. Always wrap that bag up. Whee! Okay. All right. We're going to make what's called a coil. You're going to need a toothpick or the needle tool that you got with your clay kit. You're going to need a dab of clay, pretty small. I would say it's about the size of, I don't even know what to say that is. Take a look at it in my hand. Maybe it's the size of a penny if a penny became a sphere. All right, with a coil, we're going to lay out and roll. You're going to roll a coil, which is the ceramics word for a cylinder. Okay. All right, I'm going to make it look easy because I've done it a million times. If yours doesn't come out this easy, that's okay. I'm going to roll a coil, just practice, that's thinner than your popsicle stick. Okay, quite a bit thinner, really. About half as thin as a popsicle stick. All right, now I'm going to do some scoring on the bottom. Now, scoring you're going to get used to. Scoring is a vocabulary word and it means light scratching. What it means is we're roughing up the clay. Now take a look. Am I holding the stick like the Incredible Hulk, stabbing through the clay, making huge holes? Or am I just barely scratching the surface? I am scoring, which is barely scratching the surface. It's basically roughing up the clay. In the future, we'll be using slip for this, but to keep it simple today, I'm going to dip my hands into some water and roll it over the scored area until it looks a little muddy, okay? It looks a little bit muddy. There we go. Yeah. We need that mud and we need those scratches, okay? Now right on top of where I did the scratches, I am going to lay a ring of the coil that I just made. All right, here's my ring. I'm going to cut it off with my toothpick. Whee! So it makes a circle. All right, now I can take my fingernails or another tool and I'm gently, gently, gently going to push. I'm gently going to push down the side of the coil into the bottom of the pot. Okay, there we go. All the way around. And then I'm going to dip my fingers in a dab of water. And I'm going to go around. Oopsie. Uh-oh. You know what I did? I damaged my circle. I burst through it with my fingers because I was in a hurry. And I damaged it. So if you damaged it, let's say you really messed it up. Here you go. You messed it up like I did. You could take the toothpick, cut it out, cut out that little section, score it again, score, 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 score. Put just a dab of water on there. Whee, okay. And you could put a little bit more coil in, kind of replace it. We would call that splicing. Okay, I put a new piece of clay in there. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going around again. Okay, so you'll put your finger inside of that, smooth it out. You can use your popsicle tool to smooth out the inside of that. Okay, now this is really wet. So, okay guys, can you just be quiet for 2 seconds? I'm almost done. Okay, could you guys be quiet for 2 seconds? I'm almost done. All right, so now I've got a little foot on my vessel. I'm going to tap it gently so it gets flat. Just go back and forth, try and make it pretty, okay? All right, I'm going to make a foot on my vessel. I'm going to work this to make it as even as possible. All right, you can make 4 of them, guys. 4. All right, when you're done with each one, I want you to put your period and your name lightly on the inside. Ask yourself, am I pushing as hard as the Incredible Hulk or am I going light? I'm going to put Miss L, ML, and I'm going to put 1 for period 1. Whatever period you're in, put your initials, 2 initials, and your period in the bottom. That is how I'm going to be able to fire your vessel and not lose it. Okay, so let's dry them. Let's see, I'm going to tap it just gently to make sure it stands well. Okay, you can smooth it out. You're going to make 4. I'm going to get a picture. You're going to make a picture of the 4 to let it dry. Since this bottom's real soft, we're going to dry them upside down. You're going to take your bag, your grocery bag. I want you to use kind of a big bag. Try and get a trash bag if you can. Okay, you're going to dry this inside of your house. And you're going to give it a little twist, just like that, not a tight twist. The reason is I want a little bit of air going in there, just a little, because I want it to dry slowly. I want that to dry slowly, okay? So you'll put this in a safe place in your house, remember the cup is upside down in here. And it's going to dry, and it's going to dry like that for a couple days till all the water is out of it. Now let's pretend you've got 3 other vessels you made, 3 other pots. All right, let's pretend this is the one that here's the one you accidentally pinched the edges on. And this is what it starts to look like, guys, when you pinch the edges. Let me show you. This is how you know you pinch the edges too hard, is you start getting this kind of vessel. And it's kind of broken-y because you went too thin and stuff like that. Okay, that's the pinch pot you're going to throw away. It happens. Don't be hard on yourself, okay? All right, this is one we're going to throw away. You're going to throw away 3 pots today. So after you're done, you collapse it gently. Collapse. Try to get no air bubbles in there. Fold it. Collapse. Whee! Tap it into a mass. Okay. I like to tap it into a mass because those are easier to work with later. All right. You're going to take your hand and coat it with water. Okay. Nice coating of water. Open up your bag. And just for good clay etiquette, take a handful of water and rub it on top of your clay. Take this guy. There's going to be 3 of these, 3 pots you throw away. And put it back in your clay and wrap up for the day. And then get on Google Classroom and turn in your photograph of 4 vessels. And that is today's project. Have fun.